Republican Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, a name now firmly etched in American political history, has officially announced his candidacy for governor of Georgia in 2026. Known nationally for refusing former President Donald Trump's demands to overturn the 2020 election, Raffensperger is stepping into one of the most contentious races in the South. His decision sets the stage for a fierce Republican primary battle and could become a defining test of whether integrity and independence can survive within today's GOP. Raffensperger first entered statewide office in 2018, elected as Georgia's Secretary of State after a successful career in business and a stint in the state legislature. A lifelong conservative, he campaigned on election security, fiscal discipline, and support for small businesses. But it was the turmoil of the 2020 election that catapulted him into the national spotlight. In January 2021, a phone call between Trump and Raffensperger became public, in which the outgoing president pressured him to find 11,780 votes, just enough to flip Georgia's results. Raffensperger's refusal marked him as both a hero to defenders of democracy and a target of wrath from Trump and his loyalists. He was censured by the state Republican Party, received death threats, and faced a Trump-backed primary challenger in 2022. Yet, against expectations, Raffensperger survived and won re-election, proving his resilience in Georgia politics. Now, with Governor Brian Kemp unable to seek another term due to term limits, Raffensperger sees an opening. His campaign announcement was framed as the next step in his fight to keep Georgia a place of law, order, and opportunity. He pledged to run as a bold conservative, highlighting policies designed to appeal to traditional Republican voters while navigating a party still deeply divided over Trump. His platform includes a promise to eliminate the state income tax, expand job opportunities, and lower the tax burden for seniors through property tax caps. On social issues, Raffensperger has aligned with conservative causes, calling for restrictions on gender-affirming care for minors and a push against what he described as woke curricula in schools. These positions suggest he is eager to prove his conservative credentials to a skeptical GOP base, even as he continues to carry the stigma of being one of Trump's most prominent Republican critics. The challenges before him are formidable. Trump and his allies remain powerful in Georgia, where the former president still commands a loyal base of supporters. One of Raffensperger's leading rivals is Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones, a Trump-endorsed Republican who has built his campaign around loyalty to the former president. Attorney General Chris Carr is also expected to run, giving voters a crowded primary field with sharp ideological divides. Adding to Raffensperger's difficulties, the Georgia Republican Party recently passed a resolution seeking to bar him from running as a Republican candidate at all. While state law likely prevents the party from enforcing such a ban, the symbolism highlights the hostility he faces from the state's political establishment. Despite this, Raffensperger remains undeterred, arguing that voters, not party officials, should decide the future of Georgia. For Raffensperger, the governor's race is about more than policy proposals. It is about defending his legacy as a principled Republican who refused to bend under pressure. His campaign is an implicit rebuke of Trumpism, even if he rarely mentions the former president by name. Instead, he casts himself as a steady conservative, guided by faith in the law, economic growth, and protecting Georgia families. Observers see the race as a critical test for the Republican Party's future. If Raffensperger can capture the nomination despite Trump's opposition, it may signal that a significant portion of the GOP electorate values independence and character as much as loyalty to Trump. Conversely, if he falters, it would reinforce the hold of Trump's movement on the party's grassroots. Beyond the primary, the general election stakes are high. Georgia has emerged as one of the nation's premier battleground states, narrowly swinging to Joe Biden in 2020 and re-electing Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock in 2022. Democrats are likely to field a strong challenger, meaning Republicans cannot afford to enter the general election divided and weakened by infighting. Raffensperger will argue that his statewide name recognition and proven record of winning tough races make him the best candidate to keep the governorship in Republican hands. Still, his gamble is risky. His critics on the right portray him as a traitor to Trump, while Democrats view him as a conservative who shares little common ground with their policies. He stands at the intersection of loyalty and law, principle and politics, trying to convince Georgia voters that his steadfastness in 2020 reflects not rebellion, but true conservatism. As the 2026 governor's race unfolds, Raffensperger's candidacy will remain under the microscope. Will Georgia Republicans reward him for his defiance and experience, or will Trump's shadow prove too long for him to escape? One thing is clear. Brad Raffensperger is once again ready to stake his political career on the belief that following the law, even when inconvenient, is the right path forward.